Good morning, students. This is Sheba. Now we are going to discuss about the medical electronics, UNIT-1. Electrophysiology and biopotential recording. So in our previous session, we have seen about the overview of what is meant by this medical electronics, what is the purpose of learning this, and what is meant by biopotentials, how the parameters are measured. And in this session, we are going to discuss about the biopotential electrodes. What is this biopotential electrodes? To measure the bioelectric potential, a transducer is required, and it converts the electrical signals that are produced by various body activities into useful potential signals, which are used in monitoring and diagnosis purposes. So, in order to measure and record potentials and hence current in the body, it is necessary to provide some interface between the body and electronic measuring apparatus. Biopotential electrodes carry out this interface function. A transducer consists of two electrodes which measure ionic potential difference between 2 points, and this biopotential waveform ends with gram, that is electrocardiogram, electroencephalogram. So, and also the instrument measure in parameter is marked in the form of graph. Propagation of action potential through different body tissues produces final waveform recorded by the electrodes, and the electrical activity is explained by differences in ion concentration within the body, which we have seen in the last class itself. A potential difference occurs between 2 points with different ionic concentration. Here you can see the equivalent circuit of biopotential electrodes, where electrical potential developed across the interface, and C represents the charge at the interface at the metal skin. Also, two electrode biopotentials are available, where reference electrode and measuring electrode are used, and it compares the measured value with the reference value to find whether the patient is in normal or abnormal condition. Biopotential electrodes transduce ionic conduction to electronic conduction so that biopotential signals can be obtained. They generally consist of metal contact package so that they can be easily attached to the skin or other body tissues based on the application which we are applying. There are many types of biopotential electrodes, like microelectrode, in which bioelectric potential near or within a single cell is measured, which is of metal type or micropipette type. Skin surface electrodes are also available, which are mainly used in the purpose of ECG, EEG and EMG measurements. Needle electrodes, which penetrate to the skins to record EEG characteristics. These microelectrodes are used to measure biopotential signals at the cellular level, and due to the small dimension, impedance levels are high. Amplifier here is required to measure very high input impedance. This microelectrodes diagrammatic representation is given, in which metal as well as the glass materials are used in the electrodes. This microelectrode has lead wire shaft and shank, and also proper insulation is given in order to avoid patient from getting damaged due to some electrical contact. Here cap is also available in the micropipette type electrodes, where it provides the protection and it covers the electrode from getting viable to the environment condition. Surface electrodes, they are placed in the contact with the skin of the subject, that is human body, and a bucket of saline water is used and an improvement of immersion electrode is the plate electrode. And also the surface electrodes are majorly used when we are measuring parameters related to the skin surface area. Here you can see the diagrammatic representation of immersion electrodes and also succession type electrodes, which is recently used in many medical applications. Metal plate electrodes, one of the most frequently used form of biopotential sensing electrodes. It consists of a metallic conductor in contact with the skin. An electrolyte soak pad or gel is used to establish and maintain the contact. Here you can see The types of metal plate electrodes, which has metal disc and electrolyte adhesive tack on surface of foam pad, which creates the metallic contact to the human body. Floating electrodes are also available, that is, conductive paste reduces the effect of electrode slippage. That is, even we are placing the electrode in the human body, it may move to some other place due to the slippery nature. So floating electrodes avoid this type of problems, and it floats in the particular area when we are immersing it to the human body. For example, if you are measuring the blood or any liquid content, means you can go to this floating electrodes. Needle electrodes, as the name said, it is in the form of needle, like needles. There are also unipolar and bipolar. Unipolar electrodes are single wire inside a needle, and bipolar electrode, 2 wires are inside a needle. Mostly used for contacting with internal body tissues like nerves in the brain. If you are going to measure the nerve activities, means you can go to this needle electrode. So they get inserted into the skull of the human body and it measures the activities. There are many types like insulated needle electrode, coaxial needle electrode, bipolar coaxial electrode, fine wire electrode, coiled fine wire electrode. Here you can see the various types of diagrams of needle electrodes available. Implantable electrodes are also available. From the name itself, you can say this is nothing but it is implanted into the particular area where you are going to measure the potential value. Electrode arrays are also available. That is, array means nothing but a set of electrodes. You will be placing the entire like 10 numbers, n numbers can be placed at a manner, and it can be placed parallelly to all the places of the human body and measured parallelly. You can see this electrode arrays which has AgAgCl silver electrodes are also available. Moving to the transducer, as I have said, it is nothing but it is used to convert one variable into another variable. That is, our human body generates one variable, but the measuring equipment recorded in another variable format. So a transducer do this purpose of conversion. It is used to measure physiological variables. A variable is nothing but a quantity that vary with time. And active and passive type of transducers are also available based on the applications. Active transducer, also known as to convert variables into electrical signal, and passive transducers involves control of excitation, voltage or modulation of a carrier signal. This active transducer convert electrical signal into a physical variable and also in reverse direction. It has characters like magnetic induction, piezoelectric effect, thermoelectric effect, photoelectric effect. Passive transducers, in other sense, using resistive element, it uses ordinary potentiometer, linear and rotatory types, strain gauge, unbounded or bounded, semiconductor strain gauge. Using inductive element like LVDT, using capacitive elements are also available. So, especially for biomedical field, we use transducer like force transducer, photoelectric displacement transducer, pressure transducer, flow transducers with the digital output. As I have said, these resistive transducers, inductive, capacitive, photoelectric, piezoelectric, chemical transducers, everything is applied in specific field. For example, resistive is applied majorly in muscular stress finding, inductives are used in flow measurements, capacitive or heart sound measurement, and photoelectric for pulse measurement, blood pressure measurement, piezoelectric for ultrasonic blood flow meter measurements, chemical transducers for pH finding, etc. A reference electrode is also used along with our measuring electrode. The usual method of measuring of ion concentration by combination of two electrodes is the most frequently used in real-time application. It has active electrode and reference electrode. Commonly used reference electrodes are hydrogen electrode. It contains a piece of platinum wire partially immersed in a solution containing hydrogen ions, and this electrode is non-stable. Two stable electrodes like silver chloride electrode or calamine electrode is used. As I have said, AgAgCl, silver chloride electrode, is a type of reference electrode. It is widely used electrode in real-time application due to its simplicity, inexpensive and very stable and non-toxic conditions. Also, this silver electrodes uses electroplating or dipping the wire in molten silver chloride for laboratory purposes and all. Moving to the function of the silver electrodes, the electrode functions as a redox electrode and the reaction is between silver metal and its salt, that is silver chloride. You can see the diagrammatic representation of the silver electrode. pH electrode in the other sense is a device for measuring the pH concentration. From the name itself you can see pH, concentration of hydrogen ions. So normally it should be equal to 7 for a normal condition to be maintained. So we will be finding whether it is in a normal value or abnormal. So this is the pH electrode, pH meter for measuring the pH value. And this device is used for measuring, as I have said, concentration of hydrogen ions by finding the value of pH. So for that, Nernst equation is used to find the relationship between the ionic concentration. And moving to the working of this pH electrode, this electrode is immersed in a test solution containing hydrogen ions and the electron ions diffuse through the membrane until an equilibrium is reached between the external and internal concentration. And thus it helps in build-up of charge on the inside of membrane, which is proportional to the number of hydrogen ions in the external solution. By this, potential difference developed across the membrane, which is directly proportional to the logarithm of ionic concentration in the external solution. By doing this pH electrode maintains the equilibrium in the liquid of the human body. So this is about the topic which we have discussed now. So in major, the questions like what are the types of electrodes available, why pH electrode is used, what is the purpose of moving to the various types of electrode, where the needle electrode, surface electrodes are implemented in real-time medical applications, like that you can be asked. And also what are all the electrodes used in ECG, EEG, EMG measurements. So you need to know about all these things in detail, and also as well as regarding the real-time applications. Then only you can attend the questions for both part B and part C also. Here I have also give the important links for reference. Website links are also given. So from this you can see the detailed concept of the topics which we have seen now, and also corresponding book references. SP Sasireka Medical Electronics page number of chapter 1 corresponds to page number 4 to 14 to the content which we have seen now. So this is about the topic which we have discussed now. If you have any doubts in this, you can ask me and get the details. Thank you.